So in an announcement that should come as a surprise to really nobody if you've been watching this channel and the coverage, Nintendo just announced that tomorrow on February 5th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, there will be a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase taking place in which you will learn about third-party games for the Nintendo Switch 2. And I know some people are upset about this because they want to see certain Nintendo franchises, but for me personally, I'm kind of excited about it. I want to see the future of third-party games on the Switch 2. I've been playing a lot of third-party games on the Switch 2 lately, so this is something I'm curious to see. I want to do some predictions with you guys, some kind of safe bets, and then maybe some stuff that's a little bit more off the wall. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's get into my predictions. And my first prediction is going to be Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 are going to be announced for the Switch 2. Obviously, those are RE Engine games. We know that the RE Engine is very compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2. They recently did a play test of things like Requiem and Pragmata for the Switch 2 versions of it, and they seem to be running extremely well. We saw Street Fighter 6 on there. We know that 7 and 8 are coming to the Switch 2. I think they want to put all of them on there. You know, it just kind of makes sense to me. They're great games, so you might as well do it. And then being able to have all of these different Resident Evil games on the Switch 2 would be really cool. Honestly, I probably would pick up Resident Evil 2 and 4 to play through them again. 3 is just kind of, I don't know. It's fine. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think 2 and 4 are much, much stronger. Another game I expect to be there, I'm going to go with Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Like, I think it just makes sense to me, you know? It's a game that would find a very good home on the Nintendo Switch 2. It's something that I think would sell very well on the platform. People seem to really love that game. It was a game of the year. Of course, it's a game that people are still playing to this day and still resonating with. So why not kind of introduce a potential new audience to this game via the Nintendo Switch 2? I think RPGs sell really well on there, so I think that's kind of a safe bet. I know some people think, oh, well, it's not coming to the Switch 2. I don't know, man. I honestly kind of foresee this as being available on the system. Something that's a very safe bet is I think expect to see some WWE 2K26 Switch 2 footage. We do know that that game is confirmed as coming out in March for the system. I think that's something that, you know, it may be as little as like a sizzle reel thing. Like, I don't think you really need to show it off all that much, considering just how well WWE 2K25 looked and ran on the system. But it would be nice to see, you know, what some of the different new modes and the new match types and stuff like that. I think they're bringing back the Inferno match, which is funny because I actually talked about that recently on a interview I did with Nacho Main, who is a wrestling channel. Make sure you guys go check that out. Shout out to Nacho Main. But yeah, I think that makes sense. You know, at least in a sizzle reel or something like that. But now, those are kind of my safe bets. You know, I think all of that stuff is pretty, I don't know, it's pretty much stuff that I expect. I want to get a little bit crazy here. I'm going to get a little bit wild. And here's one that I think could happen. Forza Horizon 5. And I know what you're saying to yourself. Well, RGT, Forza Horizon 6 is coming out later this year on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. The Xbox version comes out first, and then, of course, Forza Horizon 6 comes out on the PS5 in the fall. Why would they do that so close to the launch of Forza Horizon 6? And I just think it makes sense in the fact that you're kind of treating this as a new audience. This is not the standard audience for Forza Horizon games. And I think that they want to put Forza Horizon 6 on the Switch too, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time. You got to remember, Forza Horizon 5 came out like a couple of years ago on the Xbox, but it came out last year on the PlayStation 5. Now, could you do something similar like that? Because it's only been, probably a year and a couple of months by the time it comes out on the PlayStation 5 with Forza Horizon 6. I don't see why you couldn't do the same sort of thing with Forza Horizon 5. And I think that's a good way to get your feet wet with the hardware so that Playground can figure out that sort of stuff. Like I said, I think there should be more Xbox games on the Switch too. Then, obviously Indiana Jones is going to be there. People expect Elden Ring to be there as well because those are already confirmed to see that. But I think you want to and I know Elden Ring isn't an Xbox game. I'm just mentioning that because people are going to be like, oh, why didn't you mention Elden Ring? Like, yeah, Elden Ring is going to be there. But I think it would be nice to see some more Xbox stuff, maybe even a little bit of Halo action or something like that. Like, I feel like Xbox is foaming at the mouth to put more games onto the system. And the fact that they haven't yet is just kind of weird to me. Now, as far as other things are concerned, I think that's where some of the mystery comes into play. I think back to previously announced Switch 2 games such as like Shenmue 3. Like, you remember that Shenmue 3 is allegedly coming to the Switch too. Like, I don't know, maybe Sega could finally put Shenmue 1 and 2 on the system. Like, is that too much to ask? Is that too much of an ask for them to do something like that? I could also see something like Stellar Blade being here as well. There's kind of a bit of a gaping hole in the Switch 2 library when it comes to those action-y games that, fast action blades and ninjas and stuff like that. They're a dime a dozen on the other systems. But of course, on the Switch 2, for whatever reason, you don't really see many of them. And while, not a super interest to me, I did play some Stellar Blade. I played the demo. I thought it was good, but I just never got around to playing it. I do think that that's a game and a franchise that they want to kind of expand upon. And I feel like it would find a decent home on the Switch too. The Nintendo fans love their waifus and stuff like that. So this to me makes perfect sense. And then, the sky's kind of the limit. And I think that's what makes this exciting to me, is just kind of the mystery around it. There's gonna be, some artsy fartsy crap, some cozy games and shit like that because, people buy them. Play what you want to play. I'm not gonna get mad at you or anything, but play what you want to play. There'll be some weird stuff like that, and people will go insane online, and then the game will sell like 1,000 copies. And I'm like, well, gotta put your money where your mouth is. But I'm excited for this event, and I think it'll be cool. I just, my main thing is I hope there's a great blend of games. Nintendo likes to work with certain partners all of the time and showcase those certain partners all of the time. Give me some variety. Give me something a little bit crazy. Give me some companies that we haven't seen thus far on the system, and I think that will be a very, very pleasing event, although you'll still have morons asking, where's Mario? Where's Zelda? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll offload Mario and Zelda IP to someone else. And then you'll get some weird third-party collaboration effort. That's what's in the realm of possibility. You never know. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments section down below some of your predictions for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. Like I said, February 5th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I will not be live for it, of course, but I will make a video with my thoughts and reactions to the event. And as always, Thank you for checking out this video. If you are indeed new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you dislike the video. I don't care. It doesn't matter. As long as there's some interaction on the video from you, we are good to go. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.